I want to talk to you about something today that is really topical, actually, because we're getting to that time of year where September has come and gone, and you might be thinking to yourself, oh, I had such lovely good intentions at the start of September. I thought when the kids were going to go back to school, or as soon as I felt that crisp blast of autumn air, I was going to be on it. Maybe you were trying to do organised Christmas or something like that. And now we're in, where are we? End of the first week in October, and you're thinking, oh yeah, that's all gone out the window. And this is something I think that people very often don't give enough headspace to. And it is crucial for making habits stick. It's all well and good deciding that you want to start a habit, but actually making it stick, that is a completely different ballgame. So that is what we were going to talk about in today's episode. So grab yourself a cup of tea, get nice and comfy, or pop your headphones in and be productive whilst we chat away. So before we even start, I want to talk to you about a little journey that I'm on with strength training. I signed up with a personal trainer a few months ago with the idea that I wanted to get stronger. I'm 44 now, and I love and have loved cardio most of my life. I love that like buzz that it gives you. So back in the day, I used to do Gillian Michaels HIIT workouts and all that sort of stuff. I'll go running, I'll go for hikes, I'll go on the spin bike, that sort of thing. I never really did any strength training. I found it really boring. And when I was on my own, like trying to build that habit in, it kind of never really stuck. I'd sort of play around with it and I'd be like, yeah, I'd rather watch paint dry. Because when I'm getting better at it now, but like when you strength train, it's just like, I'd rather be doing anything else. Like that's how I feel anyway. But I knew that I needed to make a habit stick. And I've been working with someone who's been like making sure that I'm getting on with it. And also reinforcing the things that I already knew through like the work that I would do with Tom and applying it to different aspects. So I want to share with you the things that have helped me and that totally translate into maintaining the Tom cleaning habit, but also can kind of apply to anything as well. So if you're here, the chances are that you want to kind of improve. And the whole point of Tom is to improve your environment, your lifestyle environment, so that you can get on and do the more important things. And also you can just like enjoy life more. And I think if you're that type of person, you're like, oh, how can I make this better? What can I do? Blah, blah, blah. Then you will always be looking for ways to add in new habits. But, and this is going to sound really harsh, if we had maintained every single habit that we'd started, we would be totally different people. Like just imagine that for a second, like how different your life could look, because it's hard. It's really difficult maintaining new habits. It's much easier to start them, but maintaining them is a completely different story. And if you think about it, a whole industry exists on helping you across all different type of niches and sectors maintaining those habits. That's why we have things like cleaning apps and PTs and workout routines and all that kind of stuff, because as humans we kind of, I think, go to the path of least resistance. Like it's like, I don't want to do that way. I want to stay in my comfort zone. And to maintain a new habit, you have to push yourself out of that comfort zone a little bit. And sometimes that feels uncomfortable. And that discomfort is very often what stops you from maintaining. So you pack it in, and then a few months later, you're like, why did I stop? And you have to start all over again. This episode is all about what we can do to give us the biggest chance of making the housekeeping or whatever habit stick. But we're going to talk about it in terms of housekeeping, so that you don't have to keep starting again, whilst also acknowledging that life can get in the way sometimes and how to roll with that, but not quit. So let's go back to the beginning. What is a habit? So I think a habit is, the way I like to think of it, right, is like your brain putting actions on some sort of autopilot so that you don't have to keep them in the front of your brain in your mental load, if that makes sense. So the way I'm such a visual person, the way I look at my brain is like a stovetop cooker. And you've got the back burners where things are simmering away. And then you've got the front plates where maybe you've got your eggs on there, or the things that require more immediate attention. So habits, when they are stuck and they are long term, for me, they're on the back burner. They are simmering away. You kind of only need to stir them every now and again. Think like a stew or a slow cooker or something like that. They require minimal front brain, front burner attention. Am I making any sense? Like, this is a deep dive into how my brain functions. So habits are basically your brain's way of ticking things off your to-do list without you having to put too much thought into them, because they're getting dealt with in the background. And that's why once you've nailed a habit, you don't really have to think about it. It just becomes second nature. And that is what we're aiming for when it comes to something like the housework. And there is some science behind it. So habits form through a loop, which starts off with a cue, so like the start of the action, or a trigger. And then the thing that you actually do, so the habit itself. So you have a trigger for the habit, the action, the habit itself, and then the reward or the payoff that like makes you want to do it again. And this forms this lovely loop. One of my favorite things to do when you are trying to get back into the housekeeping habit is to pick something that is going to make the biggest functional or practical difference in one of the engine rooms of your home, so like the kitchen or the living room. The trigger is going to be, I need to clean that kitchen island. The action is you actually doing it for 10 minutes and 15 minutes. So you've got a clear kitchen island that your kids can actually eat their breakfast off of. And the reward is going to be you walking into that kitchen in the morning, and for the morning routine to run so much easier because your kids are able to sit down and have breakfast. You feel really proud of yourself, feel a bit smug, and that is going to want you to do it again. So you can try, we're trying to form these lovely positive loops, habitual loops. So we know, don't we, that it takes on average a couple of months to form a habit. And it is no coincidence. It's no coincidence that the organised method runs in an 8-week rolling cycle, because we are trying to cement that habit, form that lovely positive loop. So how do we start? Now, I bang on about this all the time. Start small. You have to start small. And the reason for this is we are all busy people. We've got 1,001 things going on, especially this time of year. We're heading into the darker months, so it feels like there's less time in the day. It feels like you've got less energy. And if you've got kids, then school terms are going crazy. There's all sorts of things happening, like pantomimes, getting ready for trips, easing kids into school. We've got Christmas coming, you've got Halloween, blah, 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 right? So adding a really complicated habit that's long-winded and is going to take a lot of time and a lot of energy out of your day isn't necessarily going to be the right way to go, because it just might cause you to be overwhelmed, and it's not going to give you that lovely loop, because that action is going to take too long. And instead of getting a reward, you might just end up feeling really frustrated, and then the loop breaks, right? So if you start with something small actions are absolutely the way to go. And I know it's a little bit of a trade-off here, because if you are raring to go, it can be frustrating if you are only doing little bits at a time. But I promise you, that if you want to make this a long-term, sustainable, second nature habit, back burner thing in your brain, please start small. You don't want to shock your system. So start small and just relax about it. But this is going to be a habit that is going to be with you for the long term. So it's not like it's going to run off and you have to catch it and trap it. Just relax. Start small, and it could be that you just do 10 minutes of Tom one day, and the next minute you do 15. And as luck would have it, a lovely Build the Habit series of Tom Rock sessions have gone live this week on the Tom app, and that is going to help you start building this habit. So we do day 1, 10 minutes, day 2, 15 minutes, day 3, 20 minutes, day 4, 30 minutes. And you can apply that to classic Tom, as in cleaning for that time, or you can use it for anything, any habit. It could be strength training, it could be getting your steps in. It is so versatile, but it's almost like easing yourself in gently. Think of it like when you go to the beach, and then the beach and the sea just shelve in really gently, and it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. It's not like a massive drop off. It's nice and gradual. So think about starting small, like really small, making your bed every morning. Wait for that habit to stick. think of that lovely loop. You make your bed, and when you get back into your bedroom in the evening after a long day, your bed isn't all crumpled and looks like a state from the morning that reminds you that you got up in a rush and everything was just a bit frenzied and a bit of a nightmare. When you walk into that bedroom and there's a made bed, feels calmer, reminds you that you nailed it first thing in the morning, you feel super proud of yourself, and you're going to want to maintain that lovely positive loop. Just worry about actually doing it. It doesn't matter if you do it messy, just do it. Now, obviously, right, every day is going to be different. You might get sick, it's cold and flu season, you might have a really busy day at work, or, and it's just like, So we have to factor in a couple of things that are both as important when we think about maintaining a habit, and that is time and that is energy. And your energy level is just as important as the amount of time you have. And I think a lot of people don't give enough thought to that, because you might come home from a busy day at work and you might have 30 minutes or an hour whilst your dinner's cooking in the oven. So theoretically, you have time to get some housework done, but realistically, you are absolutely exhausted. You've been on your feet all day and you just want to sit on the sofa and have a cup of tea and zone out. Or you might only have a 10-minute window before work and feel completely energized, but then equally feel frustrated that you don't have enough time, but you do have the energy. Which is why I always say you can only ever do the very best with the time and energy that you have, right? Time and energy, I think of them like cash in a similar way. You have a budget. You can't overspend it, otherwise you're going to go into debt. Like you're going to absolutely exhaust yourself and burn out, or you're going to be working into the wee hours of the morning and then feel absolutely shattered the next day. So work out what your time and energy budget is, and that can differ from day to day, right? And when you're thinking about maintaining a habit, just show up, just do it. If you have just got 10 minutes, just do 10 minutes. The biggest killer of this habit forming would be you going, well, there's no point me doing it today because I haven't got 30 minutes, so I'm just going to not. Don't do that, because we want to form the habit. Just do 10. That is going to keep that habit in the front of your mind. So you just keep feeding it, keep nurturing it until you have created that long-term habit, and it can just go to that back burner of your brain and pretty much simmer away without you having to really think about it. Just give it the odd little stir every now and again. Another really important thing to consider is, when is a realistic time, there or thereabouts, it might differ from day to day, for you to be doing this cleaning. So for me, like talking about working out, I cannot work out in the morning. I just because my brain, my body, I feel ill. Like if I work out before like lunchtime, if I work out before lunchtime, like forget it. I just have a really bad workout. I am not a morning person. So for me, the ideal time, and I've learned this over the years, I've tried to push back against it, doesn't work, right? I've learned to work with my body. Best time for me to work out is early evening. So after I've finished my work for the day, after I've got the housework done, I've picked the kids up from school, I know where everybody is, that's when I can do my workout. That is when I function best. So think about yourself. Are you a morning person? Would you rather get it done in the evening? Be realistic and work with the structure of your life, and then work with the current structure of your life. Try and fit the habit in somewhere that seems obvious, because if you don't do it that way, if you try and shoehorn it into the different part of your day, like I did, like trying to make myself a morning person to work out, you are going to be swimming against the tide. Is that the right phrase? You're going to be going in the wrong direction, and you're going to make things 1,000 times harder for yourself. And just like exercise, for those days where you think, oh, I just can't, just do something. Even if it's just cleaning the loo or running the vacuum round for 5 minutes, just do something. That's why on Tom we have level 1 jobs, which are 15 minutes worth of work just to keep the wolf from the door. So if you don't have chance to do your level 2 jobs like Monday living room, Tuesday bedroom, that kind of thing, you have at least got something done. So you're not breaking that loop. You are maintaining the habit, because it is just like exercise. Any type of movement in exercise counts. Same with housework. It all adds up. And also, you know, cut yourself some slack. I think we all need to be kinder on ourselves. It doesn't matter if one day you've only got 5 minutes done. The thing that I really want you to focus on is that you got something done. Really hone in on that. That is the most important thing, that I need you to be getting into bed every night and going, well, you know what, I did get something done. I felt like it would have been easier for me not to, but I'm super proud of myself because I did put that laundry away, or I did do that 10 minutes of decluttering that I promised myself I was going to do. Because when we promise ourselves something, and this is the thing as well that we don't really talk often about, right? And this is without getting too deep into psychology and all of that stuff. If you say to yourself, I am going to promise myself that I am going to maintain this housekeeping habit and I'm going to feel a lot calmer at the end of the 8-week TOM cycle, and then a week in, you kind of break that promise to yourself, it can erode your self-confidence and your self-esteem. So by showing up for yourself, no matter how messy, no matter how small, by maintaining that promise that you've made to yourself, you will find that your self-confidence grows little by little. And I know it's silly. It sounds silly. It's not silly. It sounds silly. I know it's just housework, but with all of the people that I've worked with over the years, the most common thing that people say to me is, I can't believe how much more confident I feel. Like I've nailed this habit that I've been trying to nail for years. And now all of a sudden I have the confidence that I can add in exercise, or I can add in working on starting a business, or I can add in studying for that part-time course that I want to do. Show up for yourself. This isn't just about having plump cushions and, you know, a clean surface in your kitchen. This is about improving the environment in which you live, and that you want to do that for yourself. That's the whole point. You're trying to start and maintain this habit. So prioritize that. Show up for yourself and don't break that promise. You just need to start in a realistic, small, achievable, maintainable way, so that you just keep coming back. Just keep coming back. Keep it small, keep it realistic, work with your time, work with your energy. And don't forget, the TOM app, the Organised Method app, is built around all of these ideas. The whole of the routine, the whole of the structure, Organised Christmas, is all about small, actionable steps that we can build realistically into our life, with the cleaning, with the life admin, so that you don't get so overwhelmed that you break that loop. We want you to maintain that loop. And then obviously we have the TOM Rocks guided sessions as well. So if you need me on your shoulder whilst you're starting or maintaining that habit, then head to the TOM Rocks section of the app, and you can try the whole app for free for 7 days. And after that, it's $3.99 a month. And hopefully, you know, with a little help from me, with the TOM community, the TOM app, we can really help to maintain and also build this housekeeping habit. And you will get there. You just need to keep doing something every day. Love you lots. Bye.